Alright guys, today we're here to do a video on something I'm really excited about. So I ordered something, I think it's been like a year now where I actually ordered this thing, and I actually kind of forgot about it because the dangerous thing about ordering things so long ago is those places usually don't charge you, like Hasbro Plus didn't charge when you actually pre-order this thing. So when I saw it, I was like, I'm just going to pre-order it, and we'll see what happens a year from now. And then out of nowhere, 2 days ago, they were like, hey, you know, your thing's now ready to ship. Be sure that your stuff's, like, you know, ready to go and your payment method and all that stuff. And literally 2 days later, it was like, hey, it's shipped. And then a day later, it was here. Like, it literally, they overnighted this thing to me, which is insane how fast the whole process was. But we're here to talk about, of course, as you're looking at the Optimus Prime Robosen robot. Now, this thing is insane. There's a lot of features that we're going to be talking about in this overview. This thing is crazy. It's bigger than you can probably even tell in the pictures on how big this thing is. I'm going to do some comparison shots to show you guys how big this thing actually is compared to some other items, because it's huge and it doesn't look that way in the video, but it's bigger than what you guys think. And it does some crazy things that I've never seen any other robot do, and it's just crazy. So, just to give you a sneak peek before this video starts.
I am the leader of the Autobots.
Hey, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Transform. This thing is crazy, guys.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is what actually comes in the box. A little bit of an unboxing, even though he's actually obviously unboxed, because I was super excited this weekend and there was no way I wasn't going to unbox with him, play with him, get used to his features and stuff, because there's a lot to get into before I did this video. But I did want to at least show you guys what comes in the box, because there are some special things and some really cool stuff that it comes with. So the first thing that it came with is this really nice box, as you're looking at here. It says Collector's Edition, and it says Transformers Limited Edition number 10,962, with a nice little Transformers logo. It has the Hasbro name, of course. Really nice artwork and really nice box. Then it says Robosen on the back. And then on the side here it says, voice-controlled interactive play. Command Optimus Prime with 40 voice commands to activate unique movements, sounds, and responses. So he does have over 40 voice commands that you can use without using the app at all. It's just by talking to him, which we'll get into. And you can see he does random motions as we're talking here. He goes into random poses. Manual control via mobile app, so you can, you know, roll out with him, you can convert him, walk, punch, a bunch of different things. You can complete missions with him, and there's an action library that you can download more actions, which we'll get into. You can download the app that it has, of course, on Apple, iOS, and on Android, so either phone will work. But that is the box that it comes with. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way now that you guys have seen how that box looks like, and let's talk about what came in the box. So, the first thing we're going to talk about here that came in the box is another box. But this box is actually really cool. You can see that this gray box that it came in is really interesting, because it's not just something that he came in, but it's actually meant to be a storage solution, so you can actually carry him. You can see there's a nice little handle here on top. It's made out of like a really heavy foam material, and it has a handle on top, so you can actually take him to other places, show him off at a family or friend's house and stuff like that, and take it with you. It has these nice little clips that you kind of just pop out on the side. And the box opens up from this side just like that. And you can see how the inside looks there. So this is how it would have came. Everything here would have been empty. And then it comes with a couple of accessories right here, which we'll talk about here in a second. The manuals right here. This thing right here. And the Transformer would have been right there at the bottom. But of course, he's out right now. The Transformer sits down there. This goes above him like that. So, the accessories that this thing came with. So, on the side here, it would have been the actual charger. So, this would have been on the corner here, and this would have been the charger that you see right here. So, it's just a charger that plugs into the back of him there. So, there's that. And then, right next to that, there are these little boxes here that also have some accessories here. This one's a USB cable that it came with for plugging into your PC, which we'll get into why that's important. This one came with some stickers. So you can see that I put one of the stickers that it came with on the actual charger, because this charger was plain. So I put one of the stickers right there on the charger, which is pretty cool. Couple of other boxes here with some other pamphlets and stickers. This came with 2 accessories. So if you look at these 2 plastic silver things that are on his shoulders there, that was not attached to him. They come in this little pouch here, and you attach it to them yourself. It's really easy. It just attaches to the side, and that's it. They did that probably because they didn't want that to get damaged in the box. while it was there, and then a couple of other cables there to go with. Now, when I first opened it up, I thought this box right here was just layered in there for protection, and I was like, it's missing some accessories that I knew were supposed to come with it. So he was laying in there, and I took this out. I was like, where are the other accessories? Because all the other accessories here were laid out. And this was here. Didn't realize that this is also a little box that you open, and there was something in it. So when you open this box here, you can see that these are the weapon accessories, and the weapons are actually right here. So they would have been laying right here just like that. So it came with 2 accessories, kind of just laying in there just like this. And these are the accessories. So it comes with a little gun, as you call it, and this gun's actually really cool. It attaches to his hand because it actually has a little flashlight, if you guys can see that there. You kind of just push it in, push it out, and there's a little flashlight there, so that's really cool. And then it has the battle axe as well. So really cool that it came with both of those accessories in there, and we'll show that off there in a little bit. So yeah, the accessories are kind of hiding in this box for all you guys who get confused like I did when I first opened it, and I was like, where are the rest of them? But yeah, and then the also comes with the manual right here, a nice little pamphlet, really nicely done. Has a quick start guide right here with the Transformers logo. And if we open this up, my boy's getting excited there again. If we open this up, we have the manuals here. You can see the instruction manual is really nicely done, along with the quick start guide there, which is really cool. So the packaging experience of this thing, you can tell that it's, you know, what you're getting is quality. And we'll talk more about quality and price later on. But you can tell you're definitely getting a premium product here. Just the fact that you're getting a case like this that you can actually keep around, kind of lock on the sides there just like that, and kind of have this ready to go to take him anywhere you want it to be is pretty awesome. Now, one of the other things we got to talk about here is, of course, the build quality. Now, the build quality here is definitely the best build quality I've seen of any toy I've ever owned. That's obvious. I mean, this thing is crazily built. Has I forget exactly how many articulation points, but you'll see it throughout the video on how many articulation points he has in his legs, in his hands, everywhere. The most amount of articulations than anything I've ever seen in a robot, and the build quality is just insane. Everything feels premium. Everything feels good. There's lights, obviously, as you guys can see around it. Everything has a premium feel to it. The unboxing experience was obviously all premium. Just the fact that he's kind of sitting here trying to pretend that he's kind of like a regular person, and he's kind of like breathing, as you can see there, where he moves his arms a little bit, like if he's just standing there breathing. All those little things are just crazy. The speaker quality is insane. That's what really caught me off guard, is how loud these speakers are. When you see it doing the actions, they're really loud, and you can hear it from across the room while he's doing things, and it's crazy how good the speaker quality is, because usually I'm used to speaker quality and robots and stuff being kind of garbage, and you can tell that they definitely paid attention to that, and it sounds amazing and really loud too. So I'm really, really impressed here with the build quality, with, like I said, with the materials that were used, with the lights, with the speaker quality especially, just with the quality of the overall build and the unique features that this thing have. They kind of hit it out of the park when it comes to that. One of the other things I want to talk about here too is, of course, the actual battery life. The battery life gets about an hour to an hour and a half of use from what I've seen, so it's not that bad. With him just kind of sitting here and you playing with him, doing voice commands with him and stuff like that, it's really cool. So the battery life is pretty good for something like this, and all the things that it can do. I was kind of impressed in how long the battery actually lasts. The next thing I want to talk about here is the voice commands, of course, one of the main features of this thing. And these are voice commands that you could just use by talking to it. No app required, no anything. It just works built in, and you just talk to it like you would other devices that you have. And they have over 40 of these commands. I'm looking at them in front of me on this iPad just to remember what some of them are. But, for example, you could say things like, "Hey, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Are we friends?"
You are my friend.
Stuff like that. You can also say, "Hey, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Hero."
There's a thin line between being a hero and being a memory.
And talking about the accessories that we were talking about before. So these accessories you can use when you want to, but just be careful, because some of these, obviously these actions don't want you to have this in his hand, because he sometimes hits his hand on his chest, and then it's basically going to err around and say, hey, you know, his right hand is stuck, and then it's going to make you power him down and power him on. So only use the accessories, of course, when the actions actually call for it, and you know what they call for it. For example, I know this next one we're going to try is definitely one that uses that, "Hey, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
Engage. Freaking awesome.
Let the Decepticons win the war.
So you can see exactly what he does there with this, which is really cool. Let me just, you can easily just take this, kind of pull it away from his hand again, and it's out of his hand just like that. The battle axe would go on his other hand down here when he's doing a battle axe action, for example. So there's, like I said, over 40 commands. There's a lot of commands that you guys can take a look at in the app that you can use voice commands with. I'll let you guys explore the rest. But it's really, really cool and really, really nice that you can just, without using an app like most of these things usually use, that it actually does a lot of things out of the box with no app required.
Connection complete.
And then when you connect them to the app, you hear that. You hear connection complete, which is really cool. And let me show you guys what the app actually looks like here so you guys can get an idea. So you can see we're looking at the app here, and you can see the Transformer is now connected. And this app is actually really cool because it does a lot of different things. So on this screen here, you can see that on the top right, yeah, he's obviously connected via Bluetooth, and when he's in this mode, really important to point this out, when he's in the connected to the app, the voice commands will not work. So if I say, hey, Optimus Prime, like I was doing before, he doesn't respond. It's not broken or anything. That's intended because it's worried about using the commands in the actual app now. So there is no voice commands while in this mode. So keep that in mind. You would just disconnect out of this app if you want to go back to voice commands. So you can see on the top right, it says the percentage of battery left. So you can see we're at 63% here. You can turn on and off the audio of this, which plays music tracks in the background. I'm leaving it off just in case for copyright reasons. You can see we have the settings icon here. So in here you can see the connection status. You can set some options here. You can have him auto stand up, auto shut down, automatic pose, which is what he does when he was automatically just standing there. You can see that. You can see the volume of the speakers being at 100%. These are all the voice commands that it does. One in the voice command mode. So these are the ones I was staring at before. And then there's USB mode, which we'll get into here in a little bit. So going back to the main menu here, you can see, let's start off with the actions, the one on the top left, the most common one. So you can see here, there's a bunch of different ones on the bottom that you can actually hit, which is really cool. And they all do their own actions. A lot of them are already preloaded. And then you can see here, you can download a bunch here. So if you click on here, they said they're releasing this every 2 weeks. I don't know if that's something that they're still doing. But there are a bunch in here so you can download. So you can see all the different names on here. And you can download a bunch of these to your thing. So for example, if I click on this lightning box one right now, I can go ahead and hit download. This action has been downloaded, and that's it. It's done. Now I can go back to the main screen. You can see lightning box is there again right in the beginning. So all of them are sitting on there, and it goes directly into the actual Transformer. It's being saved into the Transformer. So which is really cool. There's actually some storage space in there, and we'll get into why in a little bit. But yeah, really cool. So you can download a bunch, and then you would just click on them. For example, if I do this one right here, lightning box, it says do not allow. It even gives you a reminder, don't allow them to carry the weapons that I was talking about before. You just hit OK. So that's really cool there. You could do some other weird ones on here as well. There's this play guitar one. Look at his head moving. That's freaking awesome, guys. That's just friggin' fantastic. There's a bunch of other ones on here. Another one that I'll show you guys that I really like, that I'll leave you guys with, is the hero pose.
Till all are one.
You can see how cool that is when he does that. So yeah, there's a bunch of different ones for you can explore. I'm gonna leave you with one funny one here to show you guys, and I'm going to move him over just a little bit in front of me because I'm nervous on how much room he's going to actually need. So I'm going to put him directly center in front of me and do the funny push-ups, which is hilarious, and that's the last one we're going to do on here. I'll let you guys explore the rest. Now just keep an eye on him as he's doing these push-ups, guys. He's breathing up and down like he can't do it. Watch this. He's breathing again. Gets a little slow because he's having trouble. And then he just falls face first while trying to do this push-up. I mean, this thing is just crazy, all the things that it can do. And then he continues doing the push-ups, and eventually he'll come up here. You can see in the app, it actually shows you how much time is left in the action, that little red circle. So you can see how hilarious that thing is. There's a lot of things that you can actually explore here. Like I said, looking at this app, there's a lot of different ones that you guys can look at. There's even a Christmas action one. A lot of things that the guys who made this Robosen are putting out there and letting you download. And like I said, you can just freely download them. There's a bunch of them here as you're looking at. A bunch that I'm scrolling through, so you can see how many there actually are. And these are only ones, these are not voice command ones, these are ones that are actually being downloaded onto them, and you would actually have to open the app to actually use. So moving along in the app, you can also remote control him. So if we go ahead and say things like, let's go ahead and put him sideways here. And let's remote control him. Let's say that we're going to convert him. Just to let you guys know, that never gets old. Never gets old. So you can see here in the app now, we have the controlling buttons right here. So you can go ahead and then when he goes forward,
Let's roll.
you can see that.
Optimus Prime.
And then he does Optimus Prime, let's roll out, and then he kind of makes some noise and the effects. I don't have a lot of room here to show you guys, but you guys can get the idea that you can move him. You can go left, right, up, down, control him right on the app, which is really cool. And then, you know, do all these sorts of things that you want to do to control him.
Let's chop through this mission.
So you can go ahead and do actions like that by hitting the little transformer icon. You can hit the horn. You can hear that there with the horn, which is really cool. And then, of course, when you're done using him in this mode, you can go ahead and hit the transform again. And he's fully transformed again. So let's go ahead and move him back here in the corner. So that is the actions that you can take here in the remote control option. Then there's the missions that we have here on the right corner. And missions here are pretty cool because they kind of unlock as you go. You can see I did the first one. And it's kind of like, basically what you're doing in the missions, it's kind of like you're organizing actions and customizing them to do certain things. So for example, you can see here it says, first drag the stand. It tells you like what you want it to do. And you can see as you're moving, how you're actually controlling it. So this is where you get into the more advanced stuff of actually creating your own actions. So you can create your own stuff. And it starts to teach you this by following these missions. So it tells you to do certain things to make him do the action that you see there in the picture. So when you hit start, in the beginning it shows you exactly how to do it. So for example here, it's telling me, hey, drag this onto here, and then hit play.
That was too easy.
He'll tell you as you do each action if you're doing it correctly. And he says, all right, you did it correct, go ahead. And then the next thing, it tells you to bring on the next piece. Then it tells you to hit joints, and then it tells you to use his left arm and put it there. Then it tells you to correct the angle. Just look how many options you have here, and it tells you, in this case, to put it at negative 100. So it tells you to put that at 100 there. And then you hit OK. And then it tells you to use the right hand, because now we're moving the right hand there. And you can see here, it wants it at negative 100 again. So we're going to move this one. Oh, sorry, this wants it at plus 100. Plus 100, so we're going to move that there. And then it tells you, you know, so on and so forth as you're moving these pieces, and then you eventually hit play, and then you complete those missions. We're not going to do the whole thing now. But what's really cool is that after you actually unlock, after you beat these missions, as you're going through all the different ones that are here, and it gets harder because obviously it's not going to walk you through like it did that time where it flashes where you need to point. But you actually get to collect some audio. So you can see here that you can make him say all of these different phrases on command. All the ones on the left were unlocked in the beginning. So you can say things like, you can tap on the next one.
One shall stand.
One shall fall. So all these different ones, but you can see all the ones on the right you have to actually unlock. And you do that by completing these missions. So all these different ones, this is enter mission mode to attain the use. So it gives you an incentive to have to actually play these missions and unlock all of these different ones that you can unlock here to play those missions. So it's really, really cool how they did that and give you something else to do with the Transformer to actually unlock something in here. And the next thing we're going to talk about here, which is the crazy part, is the actual creating portion. So this is where you can come into here and kind of create your own actions from scratch. So you can go ahead, it even has a little video on how you actually do it if you guys want to do that. Then you can go ahead and hit customize.
Your arsenal.
And you can go ahead and customize all of these different things. And what's cool is you can customize it by doing something like this. So for example, let's say here, Now he's ready to be moved. So let's say, for the example, the first thing I wanted to do is move his hand. So I take his hand. Let's say I wanted his hand to be like this on the first part. So I move it where I want it to be. You go ahead and hit sync. Now the action is synced. Now you hit the top bar. You can see his hand is now up. Now let's go ahead and say I want to do the same thing with the next one. So the next one I also move in this direction. Let's say I wanted it to be like this. So it's kind of like he's punching. And then I hit sync again. Now his hand is synced to that position. Then I hit plus, right? And then for the next action, I want to make him wave his hand. So let's say I want to have him do where he moves his hand up like that. And then he does that. I sync it again. His hand is synced. I go ahead and hit the next box. Then I use the next hand. I put it like this so it's all the way down. So he moves his hand all the way down. Then I hit sync again. And then I hit the next one. So that's a really simple thing. I'm just showing you guys really quickly. Now, let's say I'm done. You can actually even add audio in the background. And this is where all the things that you unlock come into play. So as you unlock things. But I can hit Autobots Never Give Up.
Autobots.
Let's say I choose that one. And then I hit play, and it does the whole entire sequence.
Autobots never give up.
See that? So that was a little quick demonstration on how that would actually work. Then you could save it, and that would be your specific action. So you can go crazy in here. You can articulate his hands, his body, his head, his legs. You can be in all crazy positions. And just to give you guys a taste of what people can do with this thing and how crazy this thing is when you really get into the weeds of what this thing can actually do. People have the whole reason that there's that USB mode in the options that we were talking about before is you can connect them to your computer to not only update firmware, but he actually has available storage space. I think it was like 600 megabytes when I got him on here to actually download other people's creations that are on their Facebook page. So you can go in here, and I downloaded a bunch already, for example, and I can go into actions now because they're in my actions because I downloaded them. And if I go all the way to the right here, because that's where most of them are, all these ones here that I did, the Kung Fu one, the Dance for Bumblebee, the Optimus Prime Dance, the Funny Quirrell, all of these are actions that people have actually made. And just look at how in detail some of these actually are. For example, look at this crazy one. He could do splits. Look at that crazy action. He just starts doing splits. Like these are things that people actually made, which is just crazy. There's a lot of different actions that you can download from people, and I've actually been posting them. Not just that one, but to my TikTok and to YouTube Shorts, as you guys may have seen already, of all these different actions that he can actually do. So you can see that I already did one on YouTube Shorts before, which was the one that he did for the Funny Quirrell, which is hilarious. If you guys haven't seen that, check that out. And I did it on TikTok as well. So if you guys are not following me on TikTok, go ahead, because I'm going to be doing some TikToks and some YouTube Shorts with all of these different actions here. So that's just a taste. That's just one of them. I'll be doing a bunch of these that I downloaded from other people and showing their creations and stuff on what this thing can actually do. So I'm excited to do some more TikTok videos and some more YouTube Shorts showing this thing. But just know the possibilities of this thing are kind of endless. So yeah, guys, this thing is kind of crazy. But there are a couple of things that I want to bring up that are negatives, essentially. First one is very, very obvious. It is expensive as all hell. This is obviously geared towards crazy, either collectors or crazy-ass people like me that have no common sense. Because this thing costs $750. Now, for me, that was 100% worth it because it is the coolest toy I now currently own. Now, and that is not only is it the most expensive, but it's the coolest thing I've ever owned, and it's even better than I thought because of all those things that you can download from other people, making their own audio. I had no idea that people can make their own actual things with this guy, and then not only can you make them, but you can share them and then have your own custom music behind it. Didn't think that was possible. I thought it was just going to have like 40 voice commands like it originally said, and that's kind of what it was going to be, and it was going to be cool. It was going to have a lot of articulation points, but it even went above and beyond my expectations, and I love this thing. And this is something that I'm going to show to people every time they come over because they've never seen anything like this before. And like I said, this thing is tall. I mean, just look at this book. Look at this book next to him right here. Look how tall he is. Look at my 13-inch iPad that I have in front of me, standing up landscape mode, and look how tall he is. Like, he's huge, and it's crazy how well he's built and all that stuff. So to me, you can tell where the $750 went to because there's nothing like this. The servos motors are insane that Robosen is using for all the articulation points and all this thing that can do. I've never seen anything like this on any robots on the consumer market so far that I've ever played with. And now having an Optimus Prime in my collection, one of our favorite 90s, heroes and stuff, is fantastic. And I can't wait to show more people about this thing. But I know that this thing's not for everyone. $750 on a toy and on a tech toy like this is insane. But for me, somebody who has a bunch of tech toys as is, this is fantastic. I actually hope that they do more of these. I want to see them do Bumblebee. I would buy Bumblebee in a heartbeat if they do a Bumblebee version of this and have all the Bumblebee actions and making them, you know, hilarious and kind of do his AI in there. I would love that. The other thing we got to talk about in my final thoughts here is the fact that when you power him down, you see how he's standing like this? Unfortunately, you can't actually portray him like this on a shelf or anything because he doesn't stand without the motors running, so you have to actually have him on. A lot of people have already started saying that they kind of get, like, you know, those bases, the display bases that you kind of have that have a hook on the back of the head, so it kind of like holds him in position. People have done that, and you can do that as a workaround. But when you power him down, so you can see when you power him down, he kind of just sits like this, and if you power him down like that. But usually what I would have to do, because even this is a little wobbly, like, because there's no motors running, so you could put him like this, or what I also like to do is just put him back in the car mode and let people be surprised and be like, hey, transform, and then he transforms to you know, Optimus Prime, and it's even crazier. So I put it back into the car form that you guys saw before, but obviously everyone wants to show him fully standing, and you can, but it's not technically out of the box. You're going to have to buy some sort of display case to put him in and kind of use that as a workaround. So that's my only other caveat with this thing. But everything else about this is freaking fantastic, guys. Like I said, it's my favorite toy that I own, even though it's the most expensive. The craziest thing to show off to people, and I have some cool stuff in here because I have that other one from Tony Stark where it actually has the Iron Man thing, and he kind of puts your face in it and stuff. So I have some cool stuff that people have when it comes to robots. But this is easily the best one, and I actually hope that they continue, and like I said, to make Bumblebee or something like that. So my final thoughts, again, are this thing is fantastic. I love it. I can't wait to show it off to people. It's definitely one of a kind. It's expensive as hell. It's definitely not for everyone, but it's definitely the coolest toy. And my childhood dream come true in the 90s of having something that can transform on its own is now a reality. And I'll cherish this thing for a long time. And this thing is freaking awesome. So I hope that answers a lot of the questions you guys had with this thing. If you guys have any questions about anything you guys have seen, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.